All right. Hello, everybody. I am here for our sixth exit interview with our first jury member, James. So, James, tell us a little bit about your experience out there during season two.
Yeah, well, Shaw, you did an amazing job. I think you thought through all the details from the teams, how that could potentially play out to the activities that we all participated in. So as far as the planning, it was amazing. You did a just an incredible job putting it together.
Thank
The
you.
experience itself was really pretty cool. I had never done anything like that. I went into it telling myself that I was going to be not James like, which is super competitive because I didn't want to expose that weakness of mine that I'm uber competitive. And I don't know that I did a great job of that. I tried to lay low as much as I could and kind of be quiet. And I don't know that I succeeded, but that was my thought going in. And the other piece that I thought was interesting as I watch it is the whole thought of the principal alliance. Um, there was no alliance. I mean, it was really, I mean, I worked with Rachel at the time. Rachel was an assistant principal in my building. And if anything, if people really knew who we were and the way we are, like it was a competition between Rachel and I to see how far we would go. Certainly not an alliance. Maybe it would have worked out that way if we both hung around a little bit, but there was no alliances going in.
Yeah. So, talking a little bit about pregame alliances, obviously we talked about Rachel, and there were a couple people who dropped out during the 6 month process, and you were kind of in there since the beginning. We were you were one of the first people me and Meredith asked. So you had a long time to make any pregame alliances if you wanted to. Did you make any or talk with anybody? And if so, did it affect the game at all?
No, I mean, no, my job is fast paced, super busy. Being the principal of the largest middle school in Horry County doesn't leave me with a whole lot of free time. And the free time that I have, I spend that with my boys and my wife. You know what I mean? So, no, there was no alliance. I mean, looking back at it now, maybe I would have done things differently. Because I had thought about reaching out to Angela um, and seeing if we could connect, Rachel, Angela, and I. But I have to be honest with you, that competitive side of me came through with Rachel because I mean, we were just at school, poking and prodding each other about how we would do in the competition. So, it was kind of like maybe should have formed some alliances, but I definitely didn't do that legwork.
All good. So I know you said at the beginning, you were happy with the tribes and stuff, but the first thing we did when we started rolling the cameras was we took you to the big field and we did divide you into the three tribes. So obviously your tribe was the most successful of the pre-merge until you got to the merge. But at first looking at the three tribes, were you happy with yours or would you have maybe chosen a different tribe?
No, I think everything was split up very well. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know really the other competitors well. I mean, I know Angela, knew Wayne just through athletics. Um, Obviously knew Rachel, but I didn't really know anybody. So I mean, I was very happy with it. I thought it was interesting. I mean, Fair Play was obviously the most dramatic. His introduction and his entrance was big, but that didn't really mean much to me because I mean, he's just a normal guy with a lot of energy. So
Hmm.
I thought the teams were cool. In fact, to be very honest with you, my first initial thought was I'd love to compete with Fair Play because I'd like to beat him at a competition. But we didn't get a chance to do anything like one on one or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. So, is there anybody, obviously you said you didn't know a lot of people, but when you first got out there, I mean, when you first pull up before we started rolling the cameras, y'all all got a chance to sit around the fire pit before we officially got things started. So you had a little bit of an opportunity to get your eyes on people you hope might be on your tribe, or just talking with different people. Was there somebody that you met or saw that you think if they were on your tribe, it maybe could have helped you advance a little further, or nobody
Um,
stuck out?
I don't know that anybody stuck out. I mean, I think Angela brings this like calming sense, and I really like that. And that could have been helpful because she's really laid back and really calculated. And you could see
Hmm.
that, as the game plays out, how smart she is in terms of dealing with people. So I mean, maybe you know, having Angela on my team or in my tribe could have been fun, cool, learn
Yeah.
from. Um,
So let's talk about the first challenge in the merge. This was, I think, the only challenge, one of the only few challenges that came back from season one, and it was the merge challenge, the microbrew challenge.
yeah.
When Meredith first explained to you how that challenge was happening, and if you saw it in the first season, were you confident in yourself, or what was
I
going
was
through
really
your
confident. I was like, I definitely have a plan. I know what I'm going to do. I knew how I was going to attack it. And unfortunately, Laura beat me by like a split second. And I
mind?
think at one point, if I remember, I don't know if it was windy that night or something happened, but at one point, one or two of those barrels tipped over, and that's what slowed me down. But I was like, um, I was well on my way, and that's my
Yeah.
dog. He's excited. So,
What was your thought process when Laura won immunity?
um, I mean, I really liked having Laura on my tribe. She's got a great game face, so it was kind of hard to like figure her out completely. But
Mhm.
I know she wasn't feeling well, so having one immunity was huge for her, just because she wasn't well, And I think that kind of gave her a chance to shake off, what was going on with her and kind of give her a new life at the game.
Mhm.
So you're saying how the sides were when we went to tribal council.
Yeah, so what do you think happened and led to your elimination? It was
Well, I
six.
mean, I think Josh hit it on the head. Like it had to be Derek or I. One of us had to go. Just because we would have been, I think we were both super competitive, and that was obvious. And then having the fact that our whole tribe went in, um, our whole tribe went in. There's four of us, so we had the numbers. So it was just smart, to get rid of Derek or myself. I thought we had a little bit of a plan. We had talked about it, but I don't know as a tribe we did the right thing. We probably should have tried to link up with Angela and Pink to work something else out, but we didn't. We just felt like our allegiance to one another was strong enough.
Mhm.
So
So obviously we saw at the end of the episodes when the credits are rolling, Mariah flipped on you. So was that a surprise to you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think she's a great person. She knew how to play the game, and um, probably if I would have hung around for a couple more, she would have been the one to go too. Because my thought process was that these people know how to play the game. They had been on, the actual show, so I'm like, it's time to remove them because
Hmm.
they have a competitive edge because they really understand the game. So I think she played the game smart. She did what she should have done, but I was surprised because we had a conversation before going in there, of what we were going to do. Then after the vote, when I was voted out, I was like, I, I don't like it when people tell me one thing and then do another. So I was a little bit like taken back, but it's a game, so I didn't really, it's nothing personal, and I definitely get that.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I was surprised because, I mean, 2 rounds back to back with Victoria, she flipped to vote with y'all and
Right.
eliminated Victoria and then chose to eliminate you. So I wasn't really sure of
Well, and
that
I
process.
said, and I think you may have seen one of my confessionals. I said that I was struggling with Mariah just because she had flipped so quickly, um, when our tribe had lost, and we had had a conversation about what we were going to do. So that was just a little bit suspect to me because, never was she steadfast to either Derek and I or the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's a game. I mean, that's just how you play it. And, some people have a great poker face and some people don't.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I mean, I felt very confident going into that. I felt confident in Derek. You know what I mean? Like I felt
Mm-hmm.
like if it, no matter what Derek and I were going to be together until possibly we had to compete against one another. But
Yeah.
he's just a stand-up guy, and I picked that up quickly.
Yeah. So when watching the episode, outside of Tribal Council, did anything surprise you, maybe in confessionals or anything like that?
Um, I don't know. I don't think anything surprised me. It's weird because, being there for a full day, it doesn't sound like a lot. If you're watching it, you're like, oh, they're only there for a day. It really feels like an extended period of time. And over the course of that day, how you feel changes 6,000 times. So I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't surprised in anything that anybody said, just because of the way the day was structured,
Mm-hmm.
and how many different emotions and thoughts and just strategy that goes into it. So I don't think I was surprised by anything.
Yeah, and I mean, you were a trooper. You got to experience the entire second day,
Yeah,
from the very beginning because we get it a surprise, and kind of the first juror got eliminated day one, which is unusual. So thank
right.
you for being a trooper
Yeah, of
and coming
course.
all day. But any regrets? Do you have any regrets in your entire experience out there? Anything you wish you would have done?
I just wish I would have. I thought, if everybody was going to talk about an alliance, I wish I would have created an alliance. Um, I that's probably the one thing that I would have done. I would have used my relationships with educators to my advantage, and I would have created an alliance instead of being, uber competitive. And looking back on it, I mean, they voted Rachel out, but it wasn't Rachel's fault that they lost. I mean, let's
Right.
be let's be crystal clear about that. Rachel did not cost them. And it's a good thing they probably got rid of Rachel Vaughn, because she would have gone a long way, because she is an incredible competitor. So it was smart on them, to eliminate Rachel. And the great thing is she doesn't hold any grudges. So
Yeah. Thank God. But so yeah, that's pretty much all my questions. Do you have any last thoughts that you want to talk about before we hop off?
No, I'm just really impressed with you, Shaw. I mean, I think you're doing an amazing job. As you're a young man, and I've known you since you were in sixth grade. And to watch you grow up and put this together is very impressive. And you don't do it for accolades. You don't do it for any hype. You're doing it for all the right reasons. So for me, I'm just impressed with who you are and the things that you're doing, and the benefit to others. So one of the qualities that great educators have is serving others and putting others first. And I see that in you, Shaw. And so I'll just say the future is bright for Shaw Ashley, and I would definitely, when the time comes, there'll always be a place in North Myrtle Beach for you,
Thank
because
you so
you're just doing
much.
big things, Shaw. And I mean
Thank
that.
you. And thank you for agreeing to compete and fundraise and um do a lot of fun things
Yeah,
in May. We had a blast, and this group was like a family. So I'm excited for finale. I guess we're all getting together or something. I'm
cool.
not sure. So thank you again for competing, and we will see y'all for our next exit interview.
All right, thanks, Shaw.
Thank you.